Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy98 here. Welcome back to another episode of F1 2020, my team career mode for you guys today here on the channel. So we're here for the Singapore Grand Prix, and we're just currently going through the calendar and just advancing through the year. But if you end up enjoying today's video, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're around here as well. Without further ado, we're going to press on with today's episode. Now, we did get an upgrade, I believe, for the chassis, but unfortunately, our ERS upgrade, our major ERS upgrade, did fail for this episode. Which is not too bad because Singapore is not really a heavy track in terms of ERS deployment and management. So we should be okay to be pretty much just get away without it. As we're going to go and have a quick look now and see where we are in terms of the development standings. Now we have an email here from Carl to inform us about next year's regulations and where we might potentially see a regulation change. At the moment, we've not been told anything about one. I think last time it was either before the Russian or the Japanese Grand Prix that we were told that there was going to be a regulation change. So it looks like we might just have to now be careful with what resource points we spend because we might just have to settle in with a regulation change. And if it's going to affect, for example, like the chassis department or even the aero for that matter, we'll be in serious trouble if it does. So we need to be careful and we need to watch that with good intent. But for now, we can just move on with our own objectives. But obviously, for the Singapore Grand Prix weekend, we are still top in terms of the R&D graph. And this is a track which I really want to win. Singapore definitely holds a special place in my heart after my visit to Singapore last year. So this is a track that I really want to win. It genuinely is, not as important as obviously winning your home Grand Prix, but, if this was me and taking real life Formula, if I got to real life Formula 1, I would definitely be saying that Singapore is up there with one of the Grand Prix that I just want to win, because it just holds that special place for me. So, this weekend, we're taking this one even more seriously than before. But speaking of taking it seriously, I actually forgot, you can see on your screen here, I'm running with an older power unit for this weekend. I believe this is power unit number 2 this weekend, but the ICE took so much damage, or it has been taking so much damage, probably because of the way that I've been driving, that I needed to replace the ICE going into qualifying, and I kind of forgot. So the ICE is on 88%, so we're just going to go over to the management station over here, and we're just going to, well, we're about a second off the pace, which just kind of shows it really. A lot of that time lost though in the middle sector especially. It's about 6/10 in that sector alone. So I'm just going to do a little quick adjustment here. No penalty for this action. I'm just going to quickly change my ICE during qualifying, because why the hell not? It says it's going to take 18 minutes, which does put us to the end of the session. So I need to be careful and hope that I make it out of Q1. If I don't make it out of Q1 because of my own cock-up with an ICE, I'm going to be absolutely fuming. So here we go now. I'm watching. We're currently in P7 at the moment. 1.8 seconds off of Lewis Hamilton. Everyone is going on track that are behind me. I'm the only one staying in the garage. This might have just been a wrong decision. Oh, I was dropping down the order. Oh, no. Oh, we're going to make it through. Oh, just made it through into Q2 there. Cheeky little ICE change in there as well. And we got through by less than 3/100ths of a second. 24/100ths of a second is between me and the Alfa Romeo. And that was extremely close. But we now go towards Q2. And the best strategy for the Singapore Grand Prix is starting on the medium compound tyre. So I do just that. We go fastest on a 33.2, which I was really happy with. Quicker than Ricciardo, quicker than my teammate Hamilton. So I just decided to skip through the session. And it turns out that wasn't fast enough, actually. It turns out we got knocked out by Alex Albon, who set the exact same lap time as us. But here's what made me fuming, because I'm going to start scrolling this a lot. The rule in Formula 1 is that if a driver has set the exact same lap time as you, whoever set that lap first is in front of the other one. Now, I went fastest in the qualifying session, and it was Ricciardo behind me. So why the hell has Albon managed to jump me by setting the exact same lap time? Surely that means that I should have gone through, because I set the lap first. So, yeah, there's a little bit of an inaccuracy with this game. If you set your lap time, which is the exact same as the driver that you were, exact same time as another driver, you get in front of them even if you start behind them. So, really stupid, basically. The track evolution was very strong, but whatever. Hamilton starts his race from pole position then on a 1:31.7, nearly a second clear of Bottas in the Mercedes. That's an incredible lap from Lewis Hamilton, as the rest there we can see flying on through. Now, crucially for us, we're actually starting this race in P10 because Sergio Perez, who's qualified on the front row, actually got a grid penalty. So he's going to be starting further down the order, which is fine. I'm happy with that. You can move down the order. That's great. So it does mean that we are going to start in the top 10, but it does mean that we're going to have to do some overtaking on track. But, as you can see... Ooh. Yeah, we did. We had a great result. Cool. Anyway, so we're obviously still going to do our race strategy anyway. I'm not going to, you know, beat around the bush. We're still doing medium hard. Simple as that. So our strategy doesn't change. We've just got to get through a couple of cars. So 5 red lights then, and it is going to be lights out. Here we go here for the start of the Singapore Grand Prix. To Bottas there, not getting a great start actually. Had to cover straight into Lewis Hamilton's slipstream. Into turn 1 though. We've had a very nice start now. Had to cut a little bit of turn 1 there just to give myself a bit of room versus Sainz. And again, into turn 2, I have to take a bit more curbing to avoid the McLaren car. We get through quite easily in the end then, and I believe one of the Renaults of Ocon is fighting hard with Valtteri Bottas, but in the lead though, Lewis Hamilton leads this race. Bottas second, Ocon third, Ricciardo fourth, then it is Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, and then ourselves. So I believe we're up into P7 now in this Grand Prix early on. Make that P6 as we go down the inside of Carlos Sainz. A little bit deep on the brakes, but we made the move stick. Oh no, we're actually into P7 now. Okay, I missed a car in there. My bad. But as you can see then, it's a very, very nice start. 3 places gained off the get-go, and as this race goes on, because the soft tyre runners will have to pit around about lap 5, lap 6, we're going to get the advantage of our medium compound tyres being much quicker than the rest of the field very early on. So now we need to take advantage of that, go through the middle sector here. Verstappen now very much in close proximity, and we're going to go down inside. Oh, that was really close there, in towards the hairpin, to making contact with Leclerc's Leclerc's rear end plate there, and we just about get the car slowed down in time. But as we now go in towards the final sector here, a little bit wide through that corner, missing the apex ever so slightly, as the tyres need a little bit more time to warm up and get into optimal working condition here, whereas these guys' soft tyres will pretty much already be in their working condition and already beginning their phase of just really graining out heavily. Now in towards this final complex of corners, you can already see here how much quicker that we are than these soft tyre runners, getting it close again to the back of Leclerc, and this just goes to show that if I actually got the game going my way and got through into Q3 like I should have, we probably would have been on pole position at this rate, because we're just that quick. As we now see Hamilton escaping out front, but we're going to go down inside here of Leclerc in towards turn 1. Very, very late move there. I think Leclerc might not have even seen us coming there and made a little bit of contact with the side of the car. But for us though, that's now P5 in this Grand Prix. Next at the road are the 2 Renault cars. This time it's Ricciardo that's behind Ocon, because pretty much all season long Ricciardo has been absolutely dominant versus Esteban Ocon. So this is going to be slightly different to try and attack the Renault drivers. We now go through in towards the end of the first sector now, and now in towards this middle sector here, where I was very slow in Q1, obviously with the ICE being heavily worn. That probably didn't help. A little bit of a slide there on the rear end for Ricciardo, so he's already having a little bit of thermal degradation, it looks like, on the rears there as they start to get a little bit hot. But this is the section where we're just absolutely mighty as we go through here. Now we've got a very nice run here against Daniel Ricciardo, a little bit further back than the one before. We're still going to dive it down the inside. Contact between myself and Daniel Ricciardo as he squeezes up towards the wall. Check the front wing to see if it's alright. Front wing is fine. Ricciardo's got a much better drive out of here now, but in towards their heavy braking zone. We can brake a little bit later, swoop around the outside, get very close to the wall there, but luckily we're just a lot more braver on the brakes and constantly checking my front wing, making sure I haven't broken it as we try and press onwards. But we've set purple first sector here, and now we're onto the back of Ocon absolutely instantaneously now, and we're literally swarming all over the back of the Renault around, desperate to try and find a way through. But once again, we're going to just save our overtake for what's now become my favourite spot to overtake on the track. Screw DRS zones, we'll just dive it down the inside into the hairpin. Why not? And we get through on Ocon, up into 3rd place now in the Singapore Grand Prix. And these guys on their soft tyres are having a lot of pain now, because they'll be coming in very, very soon in the next 2 laps or so for a fresh set of those medium compound tyres. But for me though, I'm having fun right now. I'm having a lot of fun. And you know what? I'm not actually too disheartened about starting further down the field, because I'm having some fun right now. As we can see now, we're onto the back of Valtteri Bottas here in the Mercedes-Benz now. Lead man in Mercedes-Benz. He's the man to take Mercedes further into the Formula 1 World Championship. But as you can clearly see, it's not going to be too good when the might of the Force Korean comes onto his back. Into the hairpin once again we go. Go a little bit wide this time. Shove Valtteri Bottas a little bit wider there, just to unsettle him on exit. And we get through and up into 2nd place now in the Singapore Grand Prix, and now our teammate Lewis Hamilton lies in front of us in this race. And speaking of that, end of lap 5, start of lap 6, we're on to him now, but we get a very messy run here into the last corner, just misjudging the braking zone, going a little bit wide, and we did set a purple middle sector, and you look how much the tyres are going off for the drivers, because Ocon here, who's not stopped yet, I don't think, yeah, he's 6 seconds behind already. This just goes to show the soft tyres are not a good race tyre at Singapore. Now we've got to try and make a move on Lewis Hamilton here, and you can already see that we're just so much quicker than our teammate that now I decided to go for somewhere a little bit different this time around. We're going to use the DRS here and go towards the inside line. Hamilton does go defensive in towards this corner, but we can go down the inside here on my teammate, and it's a little bit wide on the exit there, but we're all right with that one, and we're safely through up into the lead now of the Singapore Grand Prix, and it's our race now to control. The rest of the soft tyre runners will be coming in very, very soon, and they are going to get held up by all of the drivers that started on the mediums further down the order. And that's the crucial thing around Singapore, is that when you start on the mediums and the softs around here, Verstappen then is out of the I was about to say Belgian Grand Prix, the Singapore Grand Prix. Here he is then, so it looks like just a bog standard mechanical failure there has cost Verstappen dearly, and that's his race done and dusted then for the Red Bull driver. So a big shame to see him out of the Grand Prix, but we need to press onwards, and you can see that the difference is when you're starting on the soft tyres, we set fast stuff for 38.3. Starting on the softs around here is just not good, because you're in by like lap 5 and you've just got no pace compared to the mediums to pull away. So, you know, all these guys in the medium compound tyres, start on them, they get way in front of you, and we're only on lap 12 of the Grand Prix, and I've already got a pit stops gap to Kvyat. Like, that's the difference between the mediums and the softs, and I was never going to start on the softs. Even if I qualified on pole, I would have started on mediums anyway. I could have started on softs and just had some fun fighting my way through the order. To be honest, that's probably what I would have done, thinking about it now. But then again, I'd already done a lap on the mediums. And Hamilton was going to try and do a medium compound tyre run in this Grand Prix. He had to change to go to the softs, though, because he actually was slower than me in Q2. But we're still going to the hard compound tyres. I could convert to a two-stopper, really, and go medium, medium, soft, and I'd probably still be in front. But at the end of the day, I'm running my own race. We're going on to the hards, and it just goes to show that around Singapore, strategy is key. There is only one strategy that will get you further in the race, and that's starting on the medium compound tyres, because you've got the option then of going to the hard tyre. If your tyre wear and pace is not fantastic, you could just do medium hards, take the track position and defend. It's very easy. I've already got my track position out of Gasly. Hamilton, who's the next guy behind me, he's 18 seconds back. Like, what's he really going to do in terms of pace, you know? And if you're like me right now, where you're really, really fast and a little bit ragged there through the last corner, you can do like medium, medium, soft, or you can do medium, hard, and then soft. And in this race, I'm just looking at it right now and thinking, I might just do that. But annoyingly, though, we've got a bit of a problem. And onto lap 19 of the Singapore Grand Prix, my teammate Lewis Hamilton, unfortunately, who you can see on the minimap, going down the back straight towards Raffles Boulevard, is out of the Singapore Grand Prix. The yellow flag is out for him. The confirmation is going to come up very, very soon. And yeah, not the best thing in the world. I've actually just realised that, I was going to say, I realised that I left my ERS on through the entirety of that Singapore sling section. That was a bit awkward. But yeah, Lewis Hamilton there has now pulled over to the side of the circuit. And unfortunately, the reliability problems that I was very wary about has hit home. Hamilton is out of the session, and here he is then. It's not an engine blow-up, it is just a bog standard mechanical failure. Oh, Norris then making contact with the back of Hamilton there. He's actually lost a bit of his front wing end plate there, so that's going to cost Norris dearly in this Grand Prix. He's going to have to stop for a new front wing when he gets onto the hard compound tyres. But lap 20 of the Grand Prix, and yeah, life's cool out front. I got 40 seconds to the Alpha Tauris, who are leading the way. Alpha Tauri, I think, are near the back of the field, so that's not really a shock that the gap is that high. And at this stage of the race, knowing that I had 40 seconds worth of advantage, I get set fast lap for 38.1. I am going to stop for a set of soft tyres later on and just blast in a quali lap for some fun. So as you can see, lap 21 of the Grand Prix, we are now just constantly just having some fun, trying to set another fastest lap of this Grand Prix, and we set a 1:37.2 to go 9/10 quicker than our previous best lap. Job done. And at this stage, we're just cruising now, having some nice relaxing drive here in the streets of Singapore, and I couldn't complain about that at all. Lap 24 of the Grand Prix though, and one thing about being in the race lead, as you'll see right there, is always concentrate when you're out front, because when you're this far in front, it can technically, from a viewer's perspective, be boring, and it was kind of a bit boring that I wasn't really doing much in this race, but you've always got to keep your concentration level high. One little drop of concentration, and you'll see in these next couple of clips here, it can backfire on you quite heavily. Lap 25 of the Grand Prix now, going forward to Singapore Sling. Really clumsy mistake here. I go on through, and I just get really close to the wall and just smack the front wing. And that's not me trying to, I guess, it's not me trying to force content, I think is what people would say it as. That is literally just a complete lack of concentration because I'm not doing anything. I'm just out front by like 50 seconds. No one's going to catch me. So I was going to pit for soft tyres anyway. I was going to pit around about lap 27 and go on to a fresh set of soft tyres. But it just goes to show that it reminds you very much of Ayrton Senna in Monaco 1988. He had like over a minute's gap of Alain Prost, decided to back off and slow down ever so slightly, concentration went and boom, into the wall, just like that, race done. And it's the same perspective here, you know, you're out front, you've got a massive advantage, it does not matter, you've got to continue to concentrate until the checkered flag falls. In that circumstance, I didn't. I got away with it, and I just damaged my front wing, and it just meant that, no, even though I was going to pit for soft tyres anyway, I just had to do it a little bit earlier and take a front wing change for it. But I believe we're still a good, like, 11, 12 seconds clear of Gasly, maybe even more than that actually, of Kvyat. You can see though, it is still the AlphaTauri is just out front, having a war of their own. 20 seconds now, but here we go then. This is going to be my fastest lap then at the Singapore Grand Prix on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. So let's go through the lap then. Break it into second gear in towards here, get the traction off the exit there, short shift it through third if you have to. Breaking point is the start of that curve to get as wide as you can and drop it into fourth for now onto the back straight down towards Raffles Boulevard. Fun fact, I've actually stood right in the middle of the circuit, right about there. So that's where I've stood before. Breaking the, well, I broke about 75 meters there into that corner. 7/10 up on a personal best at the 50-meter board. Break it down into second gear and then short shift through second if you have to. Drop it into fourth. Sometimes I drop it into third here to get the rotation because I'm not really good at that corner. Onto the power though, using a bit of the ERS here. Drop it down into fourth gear. This is a very nice complex corner. I actually dropped it into third just for a brief second there. Drop it into third then for this next part of the Singapore sling. Short shifting into fourth. You can go in towards fifth gear and then as soon as the track straightens out, you get into yourself in towards that hairpin and drop it down into second gear. Short shifting to third to just numb the wheel spin. And now as we get onto the power here, braking at around about the 100 to 75 meters towards this corner. It depends on your tyre grip. To start within the race, we're braking at 100 meters, and then as the track goes on, you can get towards the 75 meter board here. This complex corner is very, very difficult to get it wrong. This one especially as well. I broke at 50 meters here, a little bit late. You probably brake just before the 50 meter board. Short shift towards fourth I do towards into that corner. It gives me an easy amount of wheel spin numbness heading into this corner here. Nice and wide on the exit. Open up the ERS and the taps here. Drop it into fifth. You probably drop it to sixth to be safe. And we go a little bit wide there, a bit ragged on the exit. But it's a 1:34.1. New fastest lap of the race by 3 seconds there. Just goes to show that track evolution and just having way more pace on my soft compound tyres. And of course, lap 31 of the Grand Prix, I had a 50-second lead over Kvyat and Gasly. I stopped about 6 laps ago. I built that back up again. That just goes to show that the hard tyres going off for those guys, and I'm already weaving around. It's been an absolutely domination here in Singapore. Slow it down to the start-finish line and take the checkered flag. And I was really, really happy to take the win here at Singapore. Like I said at the start of the episode, this was the race that I really, really wanted to win, and we've gone and done it. Now, that is the win ticked off and job done in my eyes. I'm so happy to take the race victory. Like I said, it sounds a bit weird that it's like, why do you so desperately want to win around Singapore? It just holds such a special place in my heart and has brought me the happiest moments of my life. So why wouldn't I want to win around here? As you can see, though, we take that checkered flag and it was all down to strategy. We start on the medium compound tyres. We did the crucial bit at the start of the race, which was get through the traffic. As soon as the others had pitted then and got themselves stuck in traffic, it was quite easy for me to just carry on doing what I do, to be honest. They were stuck in traffic behind much, much slower cars. Both the AlphaTauris, though, big credit to them, do grab themselves a podium each. Kvyat in P2 and Gasly in P3. And I think AlphaTauri are genuinely one of the slowest on the grid. So the gap was so high for that reason. And like I said, you know, you just can't get past around Singapore. It's very tough for the AIs to pass around Singapore, should we say. So, yeah, there's that to put into perspective there. So, we'll take that checker flag quite easily. And as you can see, Bottas finishes in P4, ahead of Magnussen, Ricciardo, Ocon, Leclerc, Sainz, Vettel. Aitken got P11 for Haas, very close there. Hamilton, Verstappen, even Perez in the Mercedes didn't score any points today. So, yeah, pretty wretched race for most people, bar me. Looking then at the Drivers' Championship now, we're pretty much solidifying ourselves as the champions, but moving forwards. Of course, we need to keep the momentum up because, of course, we cannot let that slip as that's something that I would rather not happen. It would be very, very nice if it didn't, moving forwards. In the Constructors' Championship, meanwhile, 155 points is that gap moving upwards. And as you can see now, it's time for our interview with Claire. She's actually giving me a normal question. How am I feeling after that win? Pretty good. You know, we're going to go over to the Raffles Hotel and, you know, celebrate. Been there myself. So I decided to pay tribute to the air department for that one. In terms of the strategy for cutting my way through the field, it was all just down in the corner. The car was nimble, light, just was an absolute breeze to drive. In terms of performing better than last weekend, I got P2 from last in a wet dry race, and that was a setup problem. So here in Singapore, I wanted to pick something to do with strategy, but it wouldn't let me. So did you feel things went well for you today?
Right, let's put this into perspective. I started in P10 due to a cock-up. I then started on the mediums. I won the race by 50 seconds after having to pit when the gap was 50 seconds to 20 seconds, and I won with a fastest lap by over 3 seconds. What do you think went bad there, love?
Now that I've got that off my chest, we're up to level 19 now on the Team Acclaim, which is beautiful. One level shy of the level 20 to get a fourth sponsor. Speaking of sponsors, we didn't achieve the goal with Satellite for the amount of laps during race weekend. Unfortunately, we lost that with Lewis Hamilton DNFing. I think in fact, if Lewis did not DNF and he completed the whole race, we would have achieved the goal there. So that's a real big shame. But we're up to 17.91 million, and we're balling right now for cash. So we might just have to go and spend a little bit. Because, of course, Hamilton's market value is about... Oh, there's a failure on the durability side of things. Fabulous. So, yeah, what we're going to do quickly is assign a couple of tasks. First things first, going to do a podium celebration party. Because at the end of the day, I want my team to be happy. We want to, you know... The thing is, right, is we celebrate, right? We're going to party hard. That's all I'm saying. So, we've got 17.91 million in the bank. Now, obviously, I'm trying to save up and make sure that I've got enough to sign on Lewis Hamilton for next season. Because, by the way, no matter what, I will be keeping Lewis Hamilton for forever. So, what I wanted to do is I wanted to think about what was the best thing for me to potentially go and do in order to achieve you know, better facilities. Now, R&D wise, we've got a lot of resource points, and I was actually thinking about doing something with the brake ducts to allow me to brake a little bit better into corners, because the car is so much faster, and yeah, and we actually also go ahead and try and do the ES management system there. What I was trying to do is that because the car is so much faster in a straight line, and also through the corners as well, I feel like the brakes need a little bit of working on, just so we can actually brake consistently at the same zone. But you can see here, Hamilton's market value is 13.3 million. So it means that I've still got money to spend. I don't want to spend something like 15 million because I don't know if I can actually build all that up in time. So I'm having a look and I'm thinking, what do I genuinely want to build? Obviously, I'm going to splash the cash, but I want to splash it once I've kept Hamilton safe and secure in the team. So I'm just sort of having a look around, and again, marketing, I mean, Acclaim would be something really, really big to do in. But I'd start to have a look at the personnel, because it's the cheapest area to go through, and I wanted to have a look. So in the end, I decided to go ahead and improve Lewis Hamilton's pace stat for this one. Now, of course, Hamilton is still rapid, but it is what it is. But anyway, guys, I'll see you next time. Take care all.